Hey, how's it going? I am the Sanguiem, and welcome back to Create Above and Beyond. So, last episode, we worked on this basement here, and had our buddy cards, figured out and all that. And we even managed to get a whole binder all sorted out. And as a reward, we have a base set buddy medal that gives us speed 1 indefinitely. Which is pretty nice, definitely helps us go a little faster. And off camera, I did a few things to prepare for the Invar factory, and just a couple odds and ends. Like I put this map here that I made a long time ago, and surrounded it with 8 empty maps. So we could do some mapping at some point in the future. Might as well. So what do we do in this episode? Well, last episode I have declared that it would probably be a good idea to work on this field here and kind of do something with it, make it, kind of fix the terrain up a little bit and add a tower in that corner. And I think it would be better to do that in the form of a time lapse. But before we get to that, first, let me demonstrate something. See this here? See the structure? That is the Invar factory. It has been completed. The Invar factory has been built. It's right there, right in front of us. But we're not going in it. No, we have to do the field first, because look, listen. So, see this Enderium ingot that uses ender dust and a tall voice bush? It also uses a silver ingot. Now, as you know, silver can be melted down from coin, but unfortunately, what you may not know is that is the only way to get silver. So it's crucial that we get this thing up and running and collecting lots upon lots of coin before we start on this factory, so that way we can generate all that coin in the background. And one more thing before we do the time lapse is this thing. This is a gold generator that I kind of just mocked up in my free time, because one of the things that I needed for this was yes, here it is, controller rails. And I needed 412, and it only makes 6 rails, so that's a 1-to-1 ratio when it comes to gold. I needed 412 ingots of gold. And I didn't think I had enough, so I made a gold generator. And then I went to my storage unit and found out, oh wait, I do have enough. I did not need to make this. I had enough gold. I just made it thinking I probably don't have enough gold, only to then check it and go, oh, I have enough gold. And just for the sheer sake of curiosity, I thought, I wonder how much gold this thing can generate while the Invar factory is being built. So while I AFK'd over by that cannon up on that hill, I left this thing running. I put this chunk loader next to it. It's kind of easy to make. Yeah, you can't change the radius or anything or the shape. And I think that's just because of how the mod pack was designed. But yeah, like I left this here. It was accumulating gold, and by the time this thing was done, which took a full day to do, this thing ended up with 8 blocks of gold. That's not very impressive. That's just a little bit over a stack of gold ingots. Like, that's not impressive. So I'm going to be taking this down during the time lapse. So let's just hop into that. So yeah, like I said, first thing I was gonna do was tear down this here gold farm. So yeah, I just tore it down. Then it was time to move on to the field for terraforming, but I just ended up pacing across it for 30 minutes not knowing what to do. So I hopped into a creative world to try mock up an idea on how it will look. And this is how it kind of turned out looking, with the cascading plateaus going down the hill. I then had this schematic cannon dig out the space because it would have taken absolutely forever to do with a shovel. So here's a quick little time lapse of that. Next I fed the schematic cannon more materials to build the structures in the field area, while I finished up the terraforming by removing a bunch of the stone and copper, iron, and all that, and replace it with grass blocks, which I then paved into grass paths. The final thing I did was till the fields, put down water sources, and basically just prepare all the fields for all the crops we're gonna grow. Alright, so here we go. We have a farm now. And it's not too bad looking, I think. It's okay. It's a farm. And it's not as boring as just a flat plain with, like, evenly organized fields of crops. But yeah, it's just a little bit more interesting, I think. Let's actually get an aerial view of this. There we go. That doesn't look too bad. It's going to be a pain to make a collection system that harvests all this, but I think we can make it work. I think we could probably make it work. We have a silo here, designed for rotary farm stuff, just like the silo over there. We have a nice little building here that can process all of the goods we collect into coin, as well as make anything extra. And we have a bee building over here that we can put bees in, and I made it just wide enough to fit a bunch of hives and whatnot, while also fitting some stuff behind it. Like we could have a row of hives here with deployers underneath of them, and a row of like hoppers or belts with funnels on the end to accept shears or bottles. Like, we can get that to work. I made sure it was wide enough to fit the machines in here, because this is a rather small building with 1 block thick walls. So you can't really do much with that. And then as for the fields themselves, I've decided to have 2 different types of main crops here. We have wheat crops. Yeah, 8 bread equals 1 coin. That's pretty good. So, yeah, this is a pretty fair crop to have. Not to mention, we can use this as a main food source, because I'm thinking in the distant future, we import a lot of this bread to the nether, and we just have this stuff turned into glowing bread. It'd be cool to have a glowing bread machine in the nether factory. But that's quite a ways down the line, so we're not going to think about that too much right now. And then, but the other crop we have are these rice plants here, which give you rice panicle, and it's a 2 block tall crop, and the bottom part is submerged in water and doesn't have to be harvested at all. Just this top part. Now, what's so cool about rice, and why I want rice to be used, is that when you grind it up, it turns into 2 things. Here, let's go ahead and put that down. Grind that up. So, we have 2 things in that. We have rice and straw. And if you've been watching this series for a while, then you know that straw is something that's not exactly always easy to come by, because you gotta run around with a knife and just cut grass all day to get straw. And I use straw for my strainer building all the way over there, but the strainer's not always running 24/7 because it runs out of like strainer filter things, which use straw to make. And if we process this rice, we can turn it into bags of rice, which can be sold for a coin. So in addition to selling the rice itself, we have a passive supply of straw. So I feel like this is a pretty good idea to have this here. Oh, and you can just take the rice that you get and plant it. You just use rice itself to plant the rice. Now, I didn't have any rice on me when I finished the farm and had all the water out, so I bought a, here, hold on. So I actually bought an import for rice. Used it once, got this thing of rice, planted 9 rice things, like rice plants, and then promptly destroyed the import pass, because why would I need to import it? I'm growing it now. But I needed the rice in the first place, and I could not remember where to get it, so I just, I bought it. I have money out the ass that I could spend on this. Like, take a look at this. I got 43 gold coins. That's 43 stacks of silver. Surely I can part with a mere 10 silver coins. But now we come to a important question, which is how are we gonna power this? Because, sure, we could potentially just bring power over from the brass building, like the rotary power for create machines, but the trade machines don't take create power, they take redstone flux, which means we need a supply of redstone flux over here. And the way we got around that in the brass building is we had that furnace in there and had the kelp blocks be distributed to all of the Sterling dynamos. Well, I think we're have about reached the limit of how much of this stuff can be brought out of the furnace, we decided to use lava for the last two trade machines over here in this corner because they are rarely used and lava is so slowly accumulated. So we can't really realistically use lava. So what can we use? That's the question. So I have these dynamos here. The compression dynamo is out of the question because it requires an invar machine. No, I can't do magmatic. Lapidary we could potentially use if we made something that can make nether quartz and process that, but that's a big hassle for a mere, what was it? 40,000 redstone flux? That's the same amount a kelp block gives. It would be easier just to grow kelp. I'd say it's most likely that we're probably going to end up using a Sterling Dynamo, or maybe even the pneumatic dynamo. The pneumatic dynamo takes coin and turns it into redstone flux, and look at that, 1 silver coin turns into 100,000 redstone flux. That's not bad. That's a lot. That's a lot of redstone flux, especially given that the trade machine, I believe, uses up only 1,000 redstone flux per trade. So taking 1 coin from 100 of trades and putting it back in to power the trade machine, not a bad loss, you know, not bad. I think that would work out pretty well, actually. Alright, so now that we got that figured out, we gotta figure out what exactly is going in the tower. So let's go over and plan for a moment. So, wheat. There's a way you can process it and create. Right here we have bread. Now, what we could do is we could just collect the wheat, line it up in a mechanical crafter, like this, automated shaped crafting, and make bread, line it up, trade 8 of it, get a coin, we're done. But that's a lot of wheat, you know? That's 24 sheaves of wheat that we gotta basically trade for 1 coin. That's not bad, given how big the area is. But if we wanted, we could also grind it up into flour, bulk wash it, or mix it with water, I believe. Yeah, we could just mix it with water, which I think would be so much more efficient than bulk washing. Turn it into dough, and then we can smelt or bulk smoke. We can turn 1 sheaf of wheat into 1 bread, maximizing our output. Meanwhile, the rice, you just, you know, you can just pack that. Like, I'm pretty sure you can just pack it. Now, there are other things we could also trade, like a beetroot crate, tomato crate, got a potato crate, onion, and here's another cool thing, canvas. If we have an overflow of straw collected, we could just turn excess straw into canvas, collect it, and sell it, so that way we don't have to throw away excess straw collected. We could just turn that into coin as well. You can also make carrots. You can do mushrooms, which I wouldn't even know how to make a mushroom farm. Maybe just have the mushrooms down low and grow up to a higher block in the dark or something. And all the things I'm looking at so far are things that we could put in the silo here. Like, we could have a pumpkin farm hidden in here. We could have a rotary potato farm and carrot farm, beetroot farm. We could have whatever we want in the silo. That's why I have the silo. I almost made a second one on the other side of the building, but I figured 1 was enough, and if we needed more space, we could go down, just like with the kelp farm. Alright, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, Andrew, you've been talking an awful lot. You could probably start making a contraption now. Now, hold on a minute. Hold on. I'm almost done. Bear with me here. But there's one other thing. The bees. So, we could get 8 honey bottles and trade it for 1 coin, or we can shear the hives for 4 honeycomb and trade it for coin. What's more profitable? Because it looks to me like 4 honeycombs is far more profitable than 8 honey bottles, because you only get 1 honey bottle per hive. Meanwhile, I'm pretty sure you get 3 honeycombs per hive. So this is clearly more profitable, but that also requires shears. So I think it would be easier just to import shears over to this via, you guessed it, another iron farm. We could just have another iron farm in here. Far more efficient, by the way, because now we have access to the cobblestone generator, the ignis extruder, I believe it's called. So we can further compact an iron generator in here. So that was a lot of information I just dumped on you. Now, I guess the next question is, where do we start? Because there's a lot of places we could start. There's a chance I might have to invest in another import pass for rice, so that we can get as much rice into this stuff as possible. I shouldn't have burned my import pass. Actually, no, I didn't burn it. I threw it in the crushing wheels. It makes for a pretty good trash can. Oh, dang! I almost forgot! The buddy cards! Yeah, that's right. I need to find a way to process buddy cards out of the crops. Oh, boy. I gotta remember that. Otherwise, that could gunk up the whole system. I think I just had an idea for a harvesting machine, but it's gonna require a lot of rails. And a lot of powered rails, too. Alright. Let's grab another rice import real quick. Here, I'll even use a whole gold coin for it. There we go. We shouldn't need any more rice. Once it grows enough, I should be able to just essentially duplicate it. Same with the wheat field. Once all this grows up and I harvest it, I should definitely have enough. So while I wait for that to grow, we should design the collection system. What if we did a minecart contraption that went across and harvested everything? Now, since it takes a while for crops to grow, it would probably be okay if we just had one minecart contraption. Because I've thought about this a lot. Like, what if we just had 6 contraptions? The one that comes across each row and just takes a layer off, and they all, like, put all of their stuff out on a belt that runs under the ground, goes over there. Like, that's too much, I think. And I've thought, what if we just had 2? One for here, one for over there? No, we probably don't need that either. One should be more than enough. And we can make it nice and slow so that all the crops have time to grow before it gets back, using the controller rails. Alright, so the question is, how are we going to do this? Maybe we should kind of figure out a pathing. Because look how wide it gets in some places. Like, we have how many spaces? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like, it's 10 across here. And we want it to be wide enough to collect everything as it comes around. Like, we could probably get it to make a big arcing circle here to get everything here. And then it can just come back over through here, go back up through there. And don't even get me started on this. This thing, like, it's right here. It's not going to be easy to harvest this with a minecart contraption running underground. So, with that in mind, there's a chance that we might have to cut all of this out. And just put normal grass here or something. Like, just this won't even be usable. Quest. I just made some wheat. Placing a carved pumpkin on a hay bale creates a straw golem who can take care of your crops. Oh, and I get sweet berries as a reward. How nice. And let's see what these straw golems do. Because this could potentially make harvesting crops much easier. What mod is this even a part of? Life remaining, 7 days. So this thing has a very limited lifespan. Well, that pretty much immediately makes it not worth using. What did you just say to me, you little bastard? Did you hear that? Did you hear what he said to me? But I will oblige him and give him what he wants. Here. Is this what you wanted? So he just takes random wheat. I mean, that's pretty cool, I guess. Would have been far more useful in the early game. But I just decided not to use it, I guess. Well, while this guy literally works himself to death, let's waterlog this. I put these here. Here. Kinda looks like they're rolled up. And the reason we're waterlogging them with slabs is so that way we can run track underneath without water interfering with it. You know what I mean? Bruh, what are you doing over here? The crops are over there, my dude. My man. The crops are over there. Yeah, go. Watching grass grow sure can be boring. You know, there's something that I think... Hey, Andrew. Don't put this in. Don't put in what I'm about to do. Don't put it in. Hey, don't put it in. Don't put it in. Okay? Nobody needs to know about this. Listen. No one needs to know about this. No one needs to know about this. You're overreacting, Andrew. No one needs to know about this. This is fine, Andrew. Like, you don't have to... Like, no one needs to know about this. Nobody needs to know about this. Okay? Okay, no one needs to know about this. Wow. What could have been. Look how quick it is. Wow. Like I said, no one needs to know about this. I was just having me a little daydream, okay? I just wanted to see how it would have looked. No one... Don't put this in the video. It's fine. No one needs to know about this. Let's put that there. I think we're going to use this for infinite water over in the tower for making bread. Now I know how efficient that thing is. Editor Andrew, I thought I told you don't put this in the video. Oh, hey guys, how's it going? Yeah, what? I want you that. Did you see? Yeah, don't worry about it. I was just testing some things, okay? I was just testing. Like, it's fine. The principle still stands that that this is that what I have in there is the best water generator ever. All right, like there's nothing better. I was just testing a thing or two. Don't worry about it, okay? There's nothing to see here. Get out of here! Okay, so how's this look? You know what? It's not good enough. Wanna know why? No barrels. There's like no storage here at all. We could hide the storage underground though. Alright, here we go. Arcane barrels. That is... come on, I want it faced. There we go, like that. Okay, so, this is the storage. Lots of room. Lots of room. I don't think this will ever run out. It'll go around, and it's got a portable storage interface on each side. Only one side will be used. I just thought it looked better to have it kind of symmetrical. And you got like a little cabin up here that does nothing. It's just for looks. Got some pressure plates here, because why not? I don't know. I think it looks pretty good for a little mini thing. So let's turn it on. I like it. So let's pick this thing up. I don't think it's ever going to place itself using the card assembler, so... Much like the doors, it'll go around in a circle and never get placed. Now this thing's going to be going through walls. That's fine. Like, it doesn't have to look pretty, as long as it looks okay, you know, if you just look at it casually, you know? It doesn't have to be perfect. So let's remind ourselves how tall this thing is. Pretty tall. It needs to go down 2 more blocks. So like this. And this thing's going to be up against here, which means it can unload everything, you know, through the wall. And we can have a collection system right over here. Okay, this works. It actually looks pretty cool on the ground. Nice and small. Okay, so, as I mentioned before, this thing's going to move across here slowly. Okay, let's see if this actually works. It goes forward nice and slow. You can't have it go diagonal for very long because it'll slow down and stop moving without a powered rail under it. It comes along. Look at that. And then it stops because it's out of track. But yeah, that's not bad. I think that was a decent speed, too. It could be maybe a little slower, but we're just going to leave it at that and see what happens. So now, the next part is going to be quite tricky. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to break the wheat to mark the path. Buddy beans. Ooh. Okay. So I think this is going to be the path. Okay, I think all the rails are in place now. They're all powered accordingly. So what do you say we give it a test, huh? Hopefully this gets most of them, if not all of them. It already failed. Why? Oh, I didn't power this. I missed one! Of course! Alright, go now! It's probably fine. I also just realized I can't trample crops. Whoa! Okay, so it definitely got every single one of them down here. Definitely. Oh yeah, it definitely got all of them. Not bad at all. So this is a very long and tedious process, so I'm just gonna skip ahead to when I have all of the wheat fields done, all railed up and ready. So, be right back. Okay, I finally got it done. So, this took a day to install, especially on this side, because I had to dig under. I couldn't just rip up the ground like I did with those. But hey, it's all in there, it all works, it's all in place. Let's turn it on real quick. Look at it go. Oh, hey, whoa. So this guy goes around, it can collect most of the crops. I mean, it collects all of them, but you'll notice over here when I did some testing that these are now much lower. Yeah, when it's on the lower levels, the harvesters can go through these oak blocks, these oak planks, and harvest the rice at the bottom level, which doesn't really do anything bad exactly, but it does reset their growth all the way down to the bottom level, making them grow back twice as long. Like, it takes twice as long for them to grow back. Okay, here's that thing going. Yeah, let's just watch it go for a moment. Goes through the ground like it's perfectly normal. All machines do this. And then it slowly turns around some corners so that it can get all of the crops, because there are some instances where if it turns too fast, it won't harvest a crop in its path because the harvester went by it too quickly or didn't turn fast enough, like the minecart moved faster than the machine. So on a lot of the turns, it slows down. And it goes across over to here, does a couple of these. It's a little bit of a larger plot, so why not do this? But then you'll notice here, yeah, it resets the growth of the ones on the edge here. So later down the line, I might move the planks back and put the crops that are here down here. It might make the shelves look a little off, but it'll be more efficient. We'll see what happens. It depends on how well this goes. Well, I mean, I meant to turn it off, but I guess it's going for one more round. And as a temporary storage unit, I have this over here in the B area. Hey, look at that! Got a card. Some buddy beans. Go ahead and remove those seeds. I think that'll do it for this episode. I think we got a lot done. This episode might not be very long, though, despite how much we got done. I mean, there's a whole farm here now, and we got a machine that can go through all this and harvest all the crops, and for some reason, when it stops on the track, it turns around. I'm not really sure what that's about, but, like, look. I'm gonna go forward a little bit, and when I stop it, it doesn't just stop. At least... Huh. Earlier, when it stopped, it just straight up turned around, but... I guess it suddenly decided it didn't want to demonstrate that now that I'm showing it on camera. Either way, this thing is perfectly lined up, so that way we can collect things on this side. So next episode, we're going to be working on this to kind of sort out all of the things. And something I did notice is that rice, like the crop from the rice and the crops from the wheat here, can both be put through a grind, like crushing wheels at the same time, and then split. So we can just do that to make the process a little less complicated. Otherwise, you will need 2 crushing wheels, and there's not too much space in here. So, alright, you know, we'll discuss more in the next episode. So thank you very much for watching. If you like what you saw, consider subscribing, and remember, the Wasteland is watching. See ya.